5 American climbers ventured into the Himalayas, seeking a unique and challenging experience. They were experienced mountaineers, each with stories of overcoming obstacles and achievements on mountains around the world. Mark, Sarah, Jake, Emily, and Tom decided to face the unknown, leading them to choose a less explored and dangerous route. Their destination, an area near the mysterious Peak Makalu, a region shrouded in ancient legends. In the nearest village to the mountain's base, the locals warned them about the presence of the Yeti, the abominable snowman. They laughed off the warning, thinking it was just a legend meant to scare tourists. However, something in the seriousness of the villagers' eyes and the silence that enveloped the room whenever the name Yeti was mentioned left the group with a slight sense of discomfort. The climb began peacefully. During the first few days, the weather was favorable, and the group progressed as planned. However, on the third night, the wind began to howl differently. Temperatures plummeted suddenly, and a snowstorm approached, forcing them to set up camp on a small plateau in the middle of the mountain. As the night wore on, strange noises mingled with the sound of the storm outside. The wind seemed to carry moans, heavy footsteps, and scratches. But the 5 decided to ignore them, believing they were merely the effects of the wind hitting the rocks around. When dawn arrived, the snowstorm had ceased, but something disturbing was revealed in the pale sunlight. Around their tents, in the soft, pristine snow, there were gigantic footprints that clearly did not belong to any of them. The footprints were too large for any human, with an undefined but animalistic shape. Jake, the most skeptical of the group, laughed and suggested that some wild animal had passed through during the night. However, Mark, with a tense expression, couldn't take his eyes off those footprints. This doesn't seem right, he said. Despite the discomfort, they pressed on. However, the weather worsened drastically, forcing them to camp again in a natural cave they found along the way. The cave's shelter provided momentary relief, but at dusk, the noises returned, this time more intense. A heavy breathing sound echoed at the entrance, and a pungent, strange odor began to spread. Emily was the first to see it. While the others discussed their next steps, she stepped out of the cave to fetch water and froze in fear upon spotting a gigantic figure, almost indistinguishable in the snow's mist. It was enormous, with dirty white fur, its eyes glowing intensely in the dark. Realizing she had seen it, the creature let out a roar so deep that it made the ground vibrate. Emily ran back into the cave, but the creature did not follow. Still, something was clear, the Yeti knew where they were. The group panicked. They decided to leave the next day, but the Yeti wouldn't let them go. During the night, they heard the sound of stones being dragged, and a deafening noise at the cave's entrance. When they emerged, they saw that the creature had caused a rockslide, blocking the only safe exit. They were trapped. With no communication with the outside world and supplies running low, tension among them escalated. Sarah, desperate, tried to climb the cave's steep walls to find an exit, but something pulled her back, her screams echoing as she disappeared into the darkness. The other 3, now terrified, knew they were being hunted.